Let's do a bit of a deep dive into learning. This is the heart of data science. Let me give you a simplistic scenario or example to help illustrate what goes on in this part of the data science workflow. Imagine that you are a fleet manager responsible for a number of delivery trucks. You have a data set that you have meticulously put together that captures each one of your delivery trips, the truck that was used, the driver that was driving the truck, the sensor readings coming off of that particular truck during that delivery, and importantly, you're tracking whether or not that delivery was successful. Now, from a data science perspective, we would say that our fleet manager has a number of these observations. These are these roles. This is anytime a truck was out for a delivery. This is an observation, and you might have a lot of them. Now, for each observation, you have what we would call independent variables. These are variables that are going to describe that observation. As I mentioned earlier, the truck that was used, the model of that truck, the driver that was driving the truck, and the sensor readings coming off of that truck during that particular delivery. Now, your variables would come across like this. For each one of your observations, you have a particular variable that you might care about. Now, you might have 800 variables that would go into describing this particular run. That's not uncommon. Today we have telematic devices that hook into a lot of these assets that capture all of this information in a very neat way. So you might have, say, 1,000 individual variables that you might look to in describing a particular observation, a particular delivery. But really, what our fleet manager cares about is whether or not that run or that delivery was successful. In this very simplistic world, let's say that the delivery was successful or was not successful. Binary, yes or no. So we might say that this particular observation or this particular delivery was successful. This one was as well. This not so much, not so much. Yes, 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 no, no. This is what we would call our dependent variable. The idea is that based on what happened here in these particular runs and the characteristics that are describing these particular observations, we can ascertain as to whether or not that was a particular good delivery or a bad delivery. And this is going to be our dependent variable or our target variable. This is the variable that is going to be generating the value for our fleet manager in the future. Now, as I mentioned, you might have 1,000 variables that would go into determining whether or not an observation is going to lead to a successful outcome. Humans cannot process that level of data. If you had one variable or two variables, maybe you can intuit what this might look like in the future. And even if you could do that, could you do that at scale? Could you do that in real time? Could you do that across 1,000 trucks or 1,000 deliveries? That would be very hard to do. So what we need is the help of our friend, the machine learning algorithm.